Hey guys, how's it going? Tim here from Droid Life, and today we are looking at the all-new Edge panel on the Galaxy S7 Edge for 2016. But in order to give you a good idea of how much the software has changed, for the better, I might add, I have to show you Edge panel or Edge people on the Galaxy S6 Edge. So firing it up here, the S6 Edge really only came with sort of one kind of major effect that it could do, say, on the home screen or from anywhere else. And so in the top right here, you can see there's that little sort of tab right there. And so when you swipe that out, you get a shortcut to some of your 5 favorite contacts. And when you tap on these contacts, you get shortcuts to phone, messaging, and the email application. And that's about it. There was no paginated experience or anything like that like we see on the S7 Edge. It was just that. When the lock screen is enabled, sure, you can access with the little swipe of your finger. You can access the night clock. You can access your notifications and Yahoo News ticker app and some NBA scores or, Major League Sports scores. Really, in terms of adding value to the device or really sort of making the case for why the Edge sighting should even really exist, Samsung didn't do that much. I found myself during my review, as soon as I was done reviewing it, I turned off all of the Edge features because I really saw no point in using them. So we had hoped that Samsung would sort of rework what they did with the Edge display, and on the S7 Edge, they most certainly have. This is the S7 Edge. This is on T-Mobile, and Samsung has done a few nice things, so we can dive into that. Much like on the S6 Edge, you will see right here on the right side, I have the transparency set quite a bit, but there's a tab right here. And so when you swipe out, it brings up a whole sort of different pages. So you can see down here there's an indicator for what how many pages there are and what page you're on. So Samsung add a page for Yahoo Finance. You can add all of your stocks that you follow, Apple, Google, Facebook, etc. And then swiping through. So this is my first page. And so as soon as I swipe out from the right or left, I'll show you how to do that in a second, you get your MLB, NHL, NBA, all of those different scores. And you can scroll through them, see how your team is doing, NFL. And what I like is that, for example, the MLB is still in spring training, but it's still pulling scores, and these are up to date and they are accurate, and I appreciate that. When you want to refresh like you saw me do, you just pull down on it, it'll refresh, and then all of your scores will populate. Moving through, there's Apps Edge. So these basically just favorite apps that you want to access, and you can customize that by hitting on that little gear icon down there in the bottom left. And then scrolling through, you have to find that actual page that you want to customize. So that is that one. And then down here on the bottom, you hit the little pencil. And then you can choose basically any application that you want over here. You can remove apps, you drag and drop apps that you want to use, etc. Moving on, Samsung brought in a Tasks Edge. So this is basically a shortcut within a shortcut. So for example, say I want to quickly snap a selfie, I add the camera shortcut, and then it adds a shortcut to taking a selfie inside of the camera app. Another one, for example, you can open a new tab in the Samsung browser app, which will open up a web page of your choice. Now, this is very cool, except the only problem is that it only works with Samsung applications. When we open up the gear here, and then we find that same app, or same panel that we want to customize, it'll show you the list of apps on the left side that are compatible with this feature. So right here, Samsung's calendar, Samsung's camera, Samsung's clock, contacts, email, gallery, internet, memo, messages, and phone. There's no Chrome, there's no Twitter. Like, say a shortcut to direct tweeting someone or something like that could be extremely useful. But whether this API, is open to third-party developers, I'm unsure. But at this time, it only works with Samsung apps, making it cool, but extremely limited. Moving on, People Edge is back, and it's the same exact thing. You got your shortcuts, you tap on them, it brings up the mini shortcuts to either calling, messaging, or emailing. There are also add-on panels that you can add from the Samsung App Store. I added this one because Yahoo News was sort of terrible. This is the CNN panel, and all it is, basically, just your top headlines. Over the past week or so, it's really been nothing but political stuff, but you can scroll through. you can also edit the feed itself. You can change to say if you want international news, US news, top news, featured, politics, tech, and you can really customize it. And, and since it is a third party, it is actually quite useful. There's also ones that you can pay for, but we can get into that in a second. So again, here's the stock ticker app. So moving in, there are a ton of panels to choose from. Like I said, there's your sports scores, your app shortcuts. But moving to the right, there's one for Milk Music. There's one that shows you your places. So when you're at a certain place, the phone will behave a certain way, and you can access all those changes from the Edge panel, making it pretty useful. There's also a Yahoo News, like I said, that I disabled. There's also a Quick Tools. This one is actually a compass. We'll go ahead and enable that and show you what it looks like. There we go. So there is my bearing or my heading. I don't know the terms correctly, but there is a compass. So say if you're out in the woods or something, you need a quick compass. Good to know that it's there. And going it through, again, we also have a internet. So that one is strictly for the Samsung internet app that is pre-installed on the device. You have one for the calendar, and that is strictly for the Samsung calendar. It doesn't access your Google Calendar. And then, of course, one for weather. And you can get forecast, change the location, Fahrenheit, Celsius, whatever you want to do. And then, so on the bottom of all that, there is the Edge panel handle settings. So you can see I have mine set to the right side, large, and 74% transparency. Thankfully, all of that is customizable. So in addition to changing what size you want the panel itself to be, say small, medium, or large, I have mine set to large so I can quickly access it. You can also change where you put it. So you can have it towards the top of the display or the bottom of the display. I like mine right in the middle, so because that's where my thumb usually is, I can just swipe right out. And then you can change the transparency. So say if we bring it all the way down, you can really see the tabs sort of stick out, especially when you're on the home screen, so you can really see it now. But when we have it, the transparency turned all the way up, it's not viewable at all, and it's basically invisible, but it's still there. We can still access it. So definitely a nice tweak on Samsung's part. In addition, I want to show you how you get to new panels or how you can access new panels. So when you're on the Edge panel settings menu, you can hit download right here. And that'll take you to the Samsung App Store. And from here you can download a whole bunch of different panels. There's one for data usage, RAM usage, trends on Twitter. There is also LOL Friends. I haven't dove into that one yet. I really don't know what it is. Some of them are even paid for, like the messages panel for S6 and S7 Edge. It's $1.50. So from here, it looks like you can get into all of your different files straight from the Edge panel. Definitely a nice little feature. Call log, $1.50 for that. I don't know who exactly is going to be paying for that, but that is the S7 Edge panel, but at least from the home screen. But in the settings, when you dive into the Edge screen, you can get a bit more sort of settings in terms of what you can see when the display is off. So on Edge lighting is the same thing that we have with the S6 Edge. When the phone is down and an incoming call, the side will illuminate in a color that you choose. Edge feeds, and this is all again accessed from the lock screen, and then Edge panels. So I will show you that when the display is off and you give it a swipe down and up or up and down, doesn't matter, you can access your Yahoo News feed. We can focus on that. Focus on my finger. And let's try it again. Screen off. Give it the swipe. There we go. So there's your Yahoo News feed. And then when you swipe down through these, this is your step tracker. So that's all done through S Health. You have your notifications. And then you basically just have an infinite loop of that. And all of those panels that are on the, all of the panels that are accessible from the lock screen are customizable from the settings inside of the actual phone settings, not the panel settings. So when you tap on the Edge feeds, you can change which feeds you see. So I'll turn it sideways for you. Again, like the S6 Edge, you can show sports scores. You can show the Yahoo stock ticker. And like you saw, the S Health, Yahoo News, news ticker, and then a missed calls, notifications, etc. And you can even download more from the settings menu. You hit download. Again, it'll take you to the Samsung App Store. And there's not many that are available for the lock screen. There's an RSS feed and then a CNN news stream. So not as much as there is, there currently is for the the complete panel that you get from the home screen or whatever app you're on. But, like I said earlier, Samsung did a lot. At least when you compare it to only having a People Edge on the S6 Edge, they added a lot more value to having sort of this curved display. So for me, at least, I don't see myself turning it off too quickly because I love being able to access my sports scores real quickly, see what the stocks are doing, and heck, I even got a compass. So if you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down in the section below. And until then, enjoy life. Peace.